Good morning and welcome to Flx Matters on this, I have to say, miserable Monday morning. However, yesterday was a fantastic day, which is very good for our guest today. So, as I say, I'm going to be talking to someone who's been in an organisation that is very community based. It's been running for 105 years, and then it came to Great Britain and Ireland in 1914. So we have Paul McGinty here from Rotary. Hi Paul.
Hello.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and your links to Felixstowe before we get into Rotary.
Right. I and my family came to Felixstowe in 1982. As with many people, came to Felixstowe because of work. So this was BT. Which is lots of people in BT now live in Felixstowe and lots of other companies. So I believe we're nearly naturalised, not quite there yet, but it's getting there. 4 daughters, 2 of whom are still living in Felixstowe, and a bit dog mad. We've got 3 rescue Labradors.
Oh wow!
In the house with us.
Sounds a bit manic.
It can be. It can be.
So as I said, Rotary Club's been running for 105 years, based from Chicago, USA. So tell us a little bit more about Rotary Club, what it's all about.
What it's all about? Well, in Felixstowe we've got 2 Rotary Clubs. One meets at lunchtime and one meets in the evening. Originally it was just one, which was lunchtime.
Yep.
So as people's work changed and the ability to take time out at lunchtime got more difficult for busier people, the evening club started, and it's about meeting, and it's about doing things in community, both local community and communities abroad, and using our talents and our knowledge and our experience in different ways, and also fostering the idea of high ethical standards in what we do ourselves in our businesses.
Oh, okay. So you're bringing to bear your business skills and your integrity to the community, in essence.
Yes, and also helping keep them alive in the community sense. So it reflects back and helps us to think about actually what we're doing.
So it's a two-way street, as it were.
Oh yes.
Beneficial.
And it's very much about having fun while you do it.
Definitely, that's always a good thing. So, so obviously you're a member of Rotary Club.
Yes.
So, have you got a specific role?
We divide ourselves into groups that focus on different things, and there are 2 aspects I'm involved with. One is youth and literacy, and the second is the Colonies Challenge, or the Colonies Walk, which we held yesterday, and I was the event coordinator for that. So that's one of our major projects. We've been doing the Colonies Walk or Challenge. This was the 14th year.
14th year.
But I haven't been there all that time.
You haven't been there all that time. So when you're in the literacy work that you're doing, what does that entail?
I'm the coordinator for literacy for the district, because Rotary's organised in sort of clusters. Okay. And we have a cluster for East Anglia, and various themes are taken and people lead on those themes. And I've been leading on literacy, which is a worldwide project, for the last 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
And the idea is that people who have difficulty, whether it's poverty in the third world or people who are disadvantaged in this country, very often literacy is a factor. Now we've had lots and lots of activity politically by parties, the governments and so on, to increase the level of literacy in this country, and the schools have been doing lots in that. But there's all sorts of ways that adults can help. Okay. And so for Rotary and Felixstowe, both our Rotary clubs come together, and we support the Academy, Deep and Norwell before, with mentoring.
Yes. Okay.
And with interview experience. And then for primary schools, there's work we do with dictionaries, where we provide. We've been running a project now for 4 years. It's our 5th year, where every youngster in a Felixstowe primary in year 6 gets a dictionary.
Oh, really?
And the idea there is a dictionary is not only there for them for their schoolwork, it's also then available for home, for families. So it's the idea of getting a nice book to handle in the home.
So have you found in the local community that there is a largish issue with illiteracy, or is it more of a nationwide stroke global?
I think, and all the newspapers write on this a lot, there are very few areas of the country where there is not a difficulty to some extent.
Yes. Yeah.
And so this is about helping, encouraging the, if you like, the want to read and to look at words and to look at books, and that helps build.
Okay. So when I was a child, it took me a little while to get into reading, but I can imagine by giving dictionaries. Do you give other books, or is it
not in this club?
Yeah.
Now in other parts of the country, they're part of the Dolly Parton scheme.
The Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton.
Oh, what's that?
And this was it runs in America and in various towns in this country, and that is where every child that's born in that town gets a book a month until they're 5.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And that's co-funded between Rotary clubs and the town education budget and other charities in other towns. So that's
Okay. So it sounds brilliant that you can provide this service to the community. How do you fund it then? Is that
that's the variety of ways?
Yes.
I suppose the two main funding things for the evening club, it's the Cole and East Walk challenge we had yesterday.
Okay. Yep.
For the lunchtime club, it's the fun run, which is at Easter.
Yes.
So there, if you like, are two main fundraising, but they're not the only things we do in the community. So the community centre in Old Felixstowe, based on the church hall, had an appeal for funds because their heating and various other things needed renewing. We've given money to that. So we support lots of little things around, and animal things. The lady with the horses up near the Grove.
Okay. Yeah.
One year we re-roofed her stables.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's a whole variety of things that we do locally, and we help with things within the UK. So an example of UK work that we've helped with is in the floods, not this year, but a couple of years ago, when there were a lot of devastation. Then Rotary clubs were rebuilding core things, so they put the time in, and the clubs in the areas not affected, we all provided assistance in money form to help the communities. And then going sort of further abroad, there's two kinds of things that we do abroad. You've got specific projects and then disaster relief. So we do shelter boxes that get flown out to areas of flooding, which sometimes people will see on the news. That's a Rotary project. Okay. So the Rotary clubs pay for the contents of the shelter boxes, which is tents, blankets, all the things you need to live when you haven't got a house.
Yes.
And then they flow out when needed. And it ranges through projects like schools and water supplies in third world countries, to an international project which is Polio Plus, where for a number of years Rotary has been working with World Health Organization to eradicate polio. I think we're down to now only 2, possibly 3 countries where it's still endemic. And the role of Rotary in that is twofold. Us in Europe, we provide money.
Yes.
But it's the local Rotary clubs in the countries themselves that organise the immunisation. And they get the people, so they work through the communities to bring.
So this is where Rotary from different countries sort of work together to get the solution out there.
Yeah, and there's an example of one of our international projects a couple of years ago. One of my colleagues was leading. We helped relocate a flying doctor in Zermatt, so the airfield had to be moved. And we raised money, and then that was matched by money from Rotary International, which is how this sort of thing works.
Yep.
It was then administered by the local Rotary Club.
Yep.
And we sent people out so that every penny that was collected,
yep,
we knew exactly where it went, because it's a local Rotarian who actually made sure it did what we all thought it was going to do.
That sounds very sensible.
So
if we move on, I mean, I think the thing that when I was looking at your website and so on, is the ethos you seem to have about why you're doing what you're doing. What you mentioned, it was
service before self.
That's the one, yes.
And if you like, in brackets underneath, have fun while you're doing it.
I was going to say that was it. Yes. So I mean, the people that join Rotary, are they a specific type of person, or are they from all walks of life? And
I suppose in the 1900s it started as only professionals, and it started because 4 professionals got together in a somewhat untamed city, and felt they wanted something for mutual support in what they were doing, that there was a bigger purpose than just their jobs. And that's grown. It's really now anyone who's involved in business.
Okay.
Education, professions, who has a certain amount of time, not a fantastic amount. We do like to meet. Part of it is fellowship, so it's talking, it's learning about other people's occupations, it's learning about what's going on around us, being aware of what's happening, as well as coming together to do things. It's the services in both the doing yourself, hands-on projects, and in raising money to enable other people to do things. So it's not just a question of going and waving tents. And the key thing is that we also meet and we have fun while we're doing it.
That's good. So when you say fun, what sort of things do you guys get up to, other than doing the challenges and the charity?
Well, for example, the speakers that we have for our evening club, a typical evening is an hour of chatting and eating, followed by an hour of something. And the hour of something has in the past been skittish music singing, serious talks. We've had people talk to us about doing mad things like climbing mountains and various things they've done. We've had very serious talks on deprivation. We've done things on the climate change and environmentally friendly things and what we can do. Solar type energy and savings.
So it's a whole array of.
It's a whole, and we've done trips out to various things. We've had open top bus ride round somewhere to see what it was like. So it's a variety.
So like you say, it's a fellowship. It's people who become friends and obviously help other people at the same time.
Yeah, and we have particular themes. So we've got youth, and within youth we do, besides the dictionaries, we do a youth speaks, which is an opportunity for all the schools to come and join in a sort of public speaking. So it's a very short thing on a theme. Everyone's a winner. Kind of idea, but there is one best one found as well. We encourage technology and science with a competition in the academy.
Okay.
So it's
Are you linked to the STEM ambassadors in any way, or is that something separate?
it's totally separate.
Oh, it's totally separate, is it? Okay.
We know of it,
Yes.
but I don't think any of our members are currently STEM ambassadors.
Ah, okay. No, just interested because obviously other parts of the community are also. That's brilliant. Okay, so you've mentioned that you've got different. You've lunchtime club, evening club, Rotaracts. Did I get that right?
Well, yes.
So,
Well, the
tell us about
Rotaractors. The way Rotary is set up can be a bit confusing. I've not been a Rotarian as long as most, only about 7 years. So I'm a new boy, so I'm still learning about all the labels. But the original idea many years ago was you had Rotaract, which was your school and college age. You had Round Table, and then later on you joined Rotary, and so on. Some towns still have a Round Table going, not too many, and I'm not sure if Felixstowe. I think it still does.
So is that me thinking literal Round Table, or is that what actually is that?
Well, it's built on the same fellowship principle, and it all comes from the Rotary concept. And the Rotary logo is a wheel.
Yes.
And so that was carrying it through, if you like, that theme. There's even one for the wives and partners called In a Wheel.
Okay.
But the groupings get very blurred these days. So what we have from the Rotary point of view is some young people and aspiring professionals in Felixstowe.
So what age group is that?
That's 20 to 30, roughly.
Yeah.
There's a group in Deben, and yesterday, for example, at the Colney's Walk, is an example of doing something where it's fun, fellowship, and linking together, because we had people from the Rotaract in Deben, Felixstowe Rotaract, what we call the Mother Club, the Lunchtime Club, and ourselves, all joining in the organisation for the walkers, and it was something in the order of 30 people involved.
That's brilliant. So I probably should highlight this. The evening club is actually called
Felixstowe Landguard.
Yes, and hence the name. Yes. And what's the lunch?
Felixstowe.
It's just Felixstowe, is it?
Yes. The tradition is that when a club is formed, you start with a name.
Yeah.
And then if a club is formed from that, so if you like, it splits out.
Yeah.
It will often have that name with something else after it.
Oh, okay.
So it's not always the case, but that's so we were formed by members of the Felixstowe Club many years ago.
Yeah. So let's now move on to the event yesterday.
Yes.
So Colney's Challenge, is it called a walk, or is it interchangeable?
It's interchangeable. It's the 14th year.
Yep.
Up until about 3 years ago, it was called the Colney's Walk. And the reason we changed the name is we had a couple of groups of runners who wanted to do it as part of training and so on.
Keen.
Which is a brilliant idea. And so it sounds a bit daft, a group of runners running a walk.
Yes.
So we thought, well, let's see if we can have a more encompassing name.
So did you have runners yesterday?
We didn't this year.
Yeah, so
no.
Rambling and
yes, so it's really an amble, ramble, walk or run.
It was a beautiful day yesterday.
It was a little chilly with the sea mist, but it was a beautiful day for walking.
Yeah. So there's different walks, aren't there? There's different
3 lengths.
So there's the 5, the 10 and the 15. Yeah.
And the key thing is that we have some beautiful countryside here up the Deben Valley in what's called the Colney. It takes its name from the Colney's 100. Because the country was in the medieval times split into hundreds, which was the administrative area, and so the Colney's 100. There are some tracks across farms,
Yep.
which go to things like King's Fleet, which is named because that's where the king kept his fleet.
Yes.
It's a bit muddy these days, but so there's some beautiful walks that the farmers allow us to use, which aren't available in any other way. So each walk has at least one path that you could not possibly do.
So that this is basically the only time you will get to do it in the year.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, so how many people actually turn up to challenge themselves?
How many people challenge themselves? It was around 40.
That's not a bad
Yes.
number. Do we know what sort of money was raised from it, or is that still
Not
to
yet.
be?
It's still. It depends on sort of how the sponsorship works and so on. And there's most people are very busy these days, and actually getting those figures out of them isn't quite as easy.
So
Our target was around 2,000.
Oh wow.
That's what we're hoping to achieve.
Oh.
Now, how far we get towards that, I don't know yet.
So it's been going 14 years.
Yeah.
Is it always started off at the Brackenbury Sports Centre, or is that a new location for it?
This is where it's certainly been for the last 5 years. Now, before that, I don't know actually, because the Brackenbury Leisure Centre only became a leisure centre after the Felixstowe College closed, because it was their sports.
Yes.
And I wasn't involved in the times of Felixstowe College, so I have no idea where it started then.
Okay. So not only did you have the walk going off, you had the Olympic or one of the Olympic flames. Two.
Yes, we had 2 Olympic torchbearers who came along, one for 2 hours in the morning and one for 2 hours in the afternoon. We organised it in association with St Elizabeth Hospice.
Okay.
And who organised sort of refreshments, and we had a raffle which was divided between us. And we've been keen supporters of St Elizabeth Hospice for a number of years.
So does that mean there was some you were giving to the hospice as well?
The monies from the photography from donations for having your photograph taken,
donations, yeah.
and the raffle was divided between us and the hospice.
Lovely. So I think we touched on it briefly. It was Polio Plus.
Yes.
So that was the key, or the core charity that you were giving to, or was
No.
No, that was not. That was
No.
okay.
That runs separately. The money we raise from the event yesterday will be used principally in local charitable things.
Okay.
So for Polio Plus, we run separate events. We run
okay.
international fundraising events. Yesterday was really for local charitable things that we do, and also to provide a means for local groups to raise money for their own charities. Because the principle is like the Scouts, the Cadets. We have people walking from various groups, and the sponsorship they raise, 75% goes to their charity and 25% goes to us.
Oh, brilliant.
So the thinking is that this is a way of raising money, but also a way of enabling other groups to raise money for their charities, because we do all the organisation to make the event possible.
So when you said we, you were the key man for this year.
Yes, this year, but we is really the whole. If one thinks of the publicity, telling people about it, turning up on the day, all the things. We had 30 different people involved yesterday.
Yes, you did.
It is impossible without a lot of people,
yes.
giving a lot of time, which they did.
Oh, that's fantastic. So the Rotary being around for so long, if people would like to get in touch with you, possibly want to become a member, how would they go about doing that? Is there an obvious way of doing it? Is there a website?
There's 2 easy ways.
Yep.
There's a website.
Yep.
And if, like me, you have difficulty remembering these things, if you just Google Rotary Landguard Felixstowe,
you're bound to hit it.
You'll hit it, or Rotary Felixstowe, you'll hit both. You know, there's a website for each. So both clubs meet at the Orwell Hotel.
Okay. Yeah.
So the other thing is to stick a note in an envelope, leave it with the Orwell, or address the Orwell and say Rotary lunchtime or Rotary evening or just Rotary. Please tell me more, contact me at. And then we'd be delighted to, and also delighted to invite people to come for an evening or a lunchtime, whichever, or both, and find out more.
Okay. And is that the same for the Rotaract?
Yes.
It's exactly the same, is it?
Rotaract is, there are fewer of them, so the best thing is do it through contacting the secretary through the website or a note to the hotel
place. Yeah.
And then Annie, who organises the Rotaract, will get in touch.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time, Paul.
You're very welcome.
And this has been Flx Matters for Monday morning, and we will see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Goodbye.